Hey there, this is Jeff. I'm back with another coloring video. And actually, this time I wanted to show you something that I was doing just without even really thinking about it. And as soon as I realized what I was doing, I thought, I need to share this. Now, I've been using my friend Karen's Celtic knot skull that I showed in the previous video about, since it's, Halloween's over, but I figure, Celtic knotwork is always fun to color. So I figured I'd just use this as a good practice for blending, and to show you what I've kind of been doing is I've just been following one path of the Celtic knot around and just shifting colors. Well, here's what I was doing that I hadn't realized that I'd been doing at first, is that I've been hiding a color shift behind the other woven parts of the Celtic knot. Now, obviously I'm still blending. You can see that, there's a blend, but the actual line that would separate one color from another is not as distinct, because where that would normally fall, I ended up putting it behind one of these other little straps or areas of the Celtic knot. So to show you what I was doing is now I'm trying to go from blue here and I'm trying to shift into green. So initially I started with this color, which was a bluish green, and then I started putting in this color. And then here what I would normally do is then I would start shifting to this slightly lighter green. So what I did in the case of some of the other colors that you're seeing here is that I would color most of it of this section with the darker color, and then starting from here I'm just going to start the next section with this lighter color and just color that section in. Then I'm going to go back to this darker section, and then just starting from here from the edge, just color in a little bit to help smooth this out a little bit and to change the overall hint and hue of the color here. Then, going back to the slightly darker blue-green, again, make sure your pencils are sharp, is I then gently color in very lightly right here at the beginning. So since there's already some layer of color or pigment from the previous pencil here, there's not going to be any kind of or feeling of a line where the two colors cross. Because normally what would happen is I would color it up to this point, and then I would color the other one up to, starting from here and coloring up to about here where they would cross. But there's this little strip in the way, so what I'm doing is I'm not even bothering with worrying about the line, and I'm just coloring this section one color, this section a darker color, and then just color a little bit here with the darker color and a little bit there with the lighter color. And I'm still achieving a color shift, but I'm not worrying at all about there being a line, because I know sometimes when I color, especially if I'm using a kind of a wax base, whether it's the Kaiser Color or the Prismacolor pencils, you'll get a very sharp line where you can tell that one particular color ended and you're starting with the next one. Now I'm using polychromos pencils here, so that since these are oil-based, it's not as noticeable. So let me just do that. And then from this sort of a light bluish green, I'm going to head straight into a light green. And get that pencil. You can tell that I colored a little too much because I've got pencils all over the place. Okay, so starting back from here, this is where the strongest amount of the green is going to be. And then continually making small circle motions. Again, this is just me. That's how I do it, is I do circle motions. When I get close to this side, I'm not pressing quite as much. I mean, it still looks fairly uniform, but it is slightly paler on this side. Then I go back to this. Ooh, sharpen that. You know, I've never understood why we blow on the pencil after we sharpen it, because it's not like there's anything on there usually. Okay. Then starting from here, again, light. I don't need to make this real dark. And then just sort of like what I did with the shadow, with the gray shadows in a previous video. Here. So just a little bit of this color. Just pull it through a little bit like that. So you can see I've got a little bit of shade. And I don't mean throwing shade, I mean actual change in color. A little bit of the blue-green. Then go back in with the full green. And there we have it. So now I've successfully transitioned from a dark blue to this bluish green to a light bluish green to the full green. And this green is called light green in the polychromos range. And then from here, I would then start moving into this green, which is slightly darker, and that one's called grass green. And then I would move into this one, which is leaf green, and eventually end up in a dark green like that. And then I would then shift greens again to go back to being a light green, except going in a slightly different, there's some other greens out there that are a little more yellowish green. And I move into a yellowish green and then end up back in the yellows again, and then go into yellow and maybe a little brown, and then we'd end up back in yellow and then head back into orange and then red. And you know, it's just for me, this has just been an exercise in color blending and moving from one color to another. So all in all, it's been a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed doing it, and I'll probably continue and completely fill up the whole skull, even though Halloween is over. Again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and hit like if you like this kind of content. And if you have any ideas for something that you would like me to do or demonstrate, please leave me a comment down below. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.